Wrestling fans, promoters, wrestlers, and anyone who enjoys pro wrestling now have something new to be excited about. The Wrestling Fans International Association, the WFIA, is back. WFIA is an association that exists to promote, grow, and support professional wrestling throughout the world. Membership is free. Your membership includes a free digital bi-monthly publication of the Wrestling Fan News newsletter, association updates, voting privileges, and much more. Please go to thewfia.org, that's thewfia.org, and become a member today.
Everybody, and welcome to PWZ on W.O.N Sports. This is Rick Del Santo, and of course, joining me, as always, each and every week, Harry Davila, and we have a very special guest today, and Lucas Chase. Lucas Chase, how are you today?
What is going on, guys? I'm in a mood. But I made a commitment to be here before the events of last week, and so I make my dates, Rick. So whatever we're gonna do, let's do it.
We were discussing before we went on air. Your last appearance on this program was August 12th, 2021. So this is a long overdue appearance.
Very long overdue.
That was 2 years ago. So I am very happy to have you back.
I know you're happy to have me back because that means the ratings are going to go through the roof. Finally,
there you go.
BWD. The same way that BST's Instagram has been flying through the roof, soaring. The same way as Northeast Wrestling attendance has been skyrocketing for the past year. And the reason I haven't been on your lovely, lovely show, Rick, is because I've been busy at all of these places, such as Wrestling Open with the Great Church of Greatness and other things that I have not had the opportunity nor the time to actually bring open the laptop, say hello, and have a conversation. So take it away.
Speaking of all these
Go ahead,
dates, I'm sorry, you just had a debut not too long ago for a company a little north, Grind Pro.
Yes, Pro Wrestling Grind. Yes, I did.
How was that?
That was good. It took place at the RPM Festival up in Massachusetts, I believe. Yeah, something like that. A lot of towns, but I believe it was in Mass. RPM Festival every year. Pro Wrestling Grind was there last year. Pro Wrestling Grind went back this year. They made a phone call to Lucas Chase, and it was myself versus Chris Worthless of Rochester, New York. And we had a pretty hard hitting battle. Much respect to Chris. He gave me a big fight. He walked out the better man at my debut at Pro Wrestling Grind. But I do have an inclination that it's not going to be the last time we cross paths. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
you check out that match on IWTV.com. Just look up Pro Wrestling Grind on there. It is the most recent show.
IWTV seems to be killing it. With
IWTV everywhere, man. They're doing
it is. And Lucas Chase is, of course, on there quite frequently. I mean, you've been on the Wrestling Open as well, which I'm very happy to see you, because that promotion, Wrestling Open, is gaining a lot of momentum. It's become one of the bigger places to be in New England. So
yeah, absolutely. And it's a great locker room environment. There's a lot of great talent that walks through those doors on a weekly basis, and it's just that it's a weekly thing. You know what I mean? We're changing the script. We are, having live TV every single week on IWTV every Thursday forever is what we say at 8 p.m. And Wrestling Open is a ginormous catalyst of iron sharpening iron. That locker room pushes each other leaps and bounds above any other locker room in professional wrestling in the entire United States of America. I would put the Wrestling Open locker room in front of anybody, to be honest with you. Wrestling Open's been awesome. I'm killing it up there with my boy Sammy Diaz and Tyree and Brother Greatness, the Church of Greatness.
Mm-hmm.
We took out the trash into Even Stevens, and now we're making our mark, and who's to say that you won't be soon seeing Sammy Diaz and Lucas Chase, the Prodigal Sons, challenging for those IWTV Tag Team Championships.
Ooh, that'd be a fun little tag team match right there.
It'd be hard hitting for sure. And I think you would definitely be leaving there saying "and new."
Ooh, challenge laid out to
You can
IWTV
clip that,
tag
Rick, by the
champion.
way, put it on your little Instagram page. You can tag them in there. You can say whatever you want. You can put it up. I know that's what you're doing. You're
Calling
making
them out.
timestamp notes. I see you making the little pencils going next to you. All right. So
I do
don't
keep
tag me before noon. All right.
I do put timestamps in here as
Oh, I know.
yeah,
I know.
yeah, so I know you see me putting clips up all day, every day, Instagram, TikTok. It's something to get the show going. You know what I mean?
100%.
Absolutely. So people find something interesting. And of course, it's Lucas Chase. You've got some really great momentum going these
Listen,
days, man.
thank you very much. I'm just putting my best foot forward. I'm fighting every single match like it's my last match. I'm scratching, I'm clawing, and I'm 2022 was a breakout year. 2023 was a solidification year, and I'm telling you right now, 2024 is going to be ginormous.
Wow. Wow. Harry, what else you got right now?
On top of the grind debut, you started becoming a more frequent addition to the NEW roster, being part of a stable called Victorium. How has that been for you as far as like your career trajectory? Do you feel like it's, if anything, put more of a spotlight on you? Has it changed how you even go about yourself in a wrestling ring now that you have a bunch of guys with you on your side? How has that changed you in any way?
No, I don't think it's changed me. I think it's elevated me. I think it's elevated everyone who's crossed paths with Victorium. I think and timestamp this and post this. This will get you some traction. But myself, Julio, and Victor, and BRG, of course, are Victorium, and putting us four together is very horseman-esque. In my opinion, we all make each other better. We all have different strengths, different weaknesses, but our strengths outweigh the other one's weaknesses, and we elevate each other. We play off each other. Victorium doesn't have one natural solid leader. Victorium is four heads of the same body. And I think it's very important to know that the position that we were all in at NAW was not something, and we've been very vocal about this. It wasn't anywhere that we wanted to be. I was stuck, doing certain things behind the scenes, and I was stuck, with no creative. BRG was, doing the same thing every single month, and the Brick City boys, they needed a fresh coat of paint. So when four hungry dudes get together and start blazing a trail like we've been seeing, because we are the only one true faction in all of Northeast Wrestling, we now have the NEW Live title with BRG. Mm-hmm. Those NEW tag team titles are looking real nice. And last that I checked, I've been working my ass off every single weekend, and Matt Taven's been sitting at AEW catering. So if we want to put the NEW championship on the line, Lucas Chase versus Matt Taven, that's going to put some asses in the seats. And then when you have a new NEW champion, Lucas Chase, Victorian, we hold everything high.
Matt Taven, you have a swivel on your back, and Lucas Chase looking to come in and collect some gold in NEW.
I'm always looking for that gold.
You spoke a little bit earlier about your teaming with Sammy Diaz. Yeah. I've gotten to see a couple of your matches. You guys seem to gel very well together. Speed and finesse with strength and tenacity. I believe you guys, like you said, are en route to potentially getting a tag title shot at the IWTV Tag Team Championships. How was your teaming with Sammy Diaz been for you? How's that been?
I'm just trying to get that Logan Paul money real quick.
Yeah, of course. Plug it in.
Strawberry, lemonade prime, drink all the primes. I love prime. So Sammy Diaz and myself we're veterans in the Northeast area. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We've been doing this thing for quite some time. A term that I hate to be called is a journeyman, because my journey is far, far, far from over. And I feel like I'm entering a different level of my career right now. Sammy feels like he's issuing a different level in his career right now. And, we were the same thing with Victorium is with me and Sammy. We were hungry. We were getting opportunity up at Wrestling Open. We wanted more. And in order to create opportunity, sometimes you have to kick the door in with a friend. And, we kind of just looked at each other one night and we said, I'm sick of losing. He's sick of losing. We're tired of being on the fucking pre-show. Give us an opportunity to fucking show you what we bring to the table. And, last time I checked, Church of Greatness never been hotter. Wrestling Open, best roster ever. This is, are we live or when is this airing?
This will air this Sunday, 3:30 p.m.
This will air this Sunday. Okay, so, this past week, all right, I will go on record. I'm saying this past week, all right, because as we sit here and talk, Wrestling Open is tomorrow and tomorrow night. Sammy Diaz and Lucas Chase, the prodigal sons, with Brother Greatness, faced the Shook crew, Bobby Orlando and Bryce Donovan, on Wrestling Open, 4 days before Wrestling Beach Face, a Beyond Wrestling show where Tyree and Brother Greatness will take on the Shook crew. The Shook crew will not make it to Wrestling Beach Face because as of Thursday, Sammy Diaz and myself are going to take out the trash for Brother Greatness and Tyree. And the Church of Greatness is going to show up to Wrestling Beach Face, but we're going to show up handhelds high, pineapple umbrellas and the drink, sitting on lawn chairs, watching everybody get beat up as we have a night off. Wow. So to answer your question, Sammy Diaz and I are elevating Wrestling Open. We're elevating the Church of Greatness. We're elevating ourselves. We're elevating each other. We're elevating that locker room. And it's time to take that opportunity. And that's what brings us together. And that's what makes us a perfect, cohesive clash of styles.
Sammy Diaz, I got to tell you, he's one of the top guys in the Northeast professional wrestling.
What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean?
I'm just telling
what is
you.
A top guy?
He is like one of the best wrestlers in the Northeast.
Top 5 that are alive.
It's not just a nickname. I've gone on record. I've said that here plenty of times. He is one of the top 5 dead or alive is not just a nickname. That's real.
Actual facts.
Exactly. Every time that guy steps through the curtain, steps into the ring, he puts on a banger. Literally.
100%. Sammy Diaz gives 110% every single time he steps through that curtain, through those ropes, and inside that wrestling ring.
Absolutely.
And you're gonna get. And the same thing kind of sounds like I'm describing someone else. This guy. All gas, no breaks.
Yeah, you've had
such a formidable team.
You've had an incredible,
Absolutely.
I would say 2 years. Like you said, 2022 was the breakout, 2023 the solidification of Lucas Chase, the unleashing, so to speak, of Lucas Chase. 2022, you left 2022 as the BST champion. You walked into 2023 as BST champion until last weekend.
That's right. Yeah.
But we're gonna get to that in a second. You being the only 2-time BST champion.
Why don't we just get to it right now? Because what are we gonna do? We're gonna sit here. You're gonna butter me up.
I was gonna build it a little bit, but you know what?
Fuck it. Let it ride, Harold. Let it ride.
You main evented an amazing show last weekend at the Devonshire Hall in Hampton, Connecticut.
I've main evented several amazing matches for BST over the past year.
Absolutely. Will not take that away. You have been absolutely on fire. It took 3 men to put you down. Actually, 4 men.
Anthony Gamble.
I was getting there. Pete
Rosado, I'm looking at you, pal.
But in an absolute, to quote a phrase, barn burner, of a match between you, Marcus Alexander, Andy Brown, and Bobby Buffet, you guys absolutely tore the roof off the Devonshire Hall. I'm pretty sure I have to take care of insurance now because of that, but you guys absolutely tore it down. Rick, you were there live. What did you think of the main event?
I was amazed by the entire thing, beginning to end. That thing was just on fire, literally. Lucas Chase, of course, as always, like I said, steps in that ring.
Don't miss.
No, absolutely, and there's a reason. And I'm not blowing smoke. You can ask Matt DeCourt because he always makes fun of me. Lucas Chase is one of my favorite wrestlers today. Literally.
I've heard you say that.
I know. I've said it to Harry plenty of times, and there's times I sit there and I'm just like, holy shit. Some of the stuff that I'm able to witness in front of me each and every time I go and get out.
3 consecutive spine busters in the middle of the ring on 3 separate men on top.
Stack them up.
Yeah.
Stack them up. Stack them up like cordwood. You know what I mean?
Um,
No, but I appreciate that, and I just go out there every single time and I deliver the best. And I asked you before, what is a top guy? What does that mean? To me, that means going out there and making sure that when people see you,
Yep.
when they leave, no matter where you are on a card, they still know who you are.
yes.
And I think I have done that a multitude of times in a BST locker room. I think that I have done that a multitude of times inside of an NEW locker room, inside of a wrestling open locker room, making moments. And that match was 4 dudes scratching, clawing, fighting, killing, teeth gnawing, everything. Because we wanted to walk out with the grandest prize in all of professional wrestling as a BST heavyweight championship. Now, I didn't walk out BST heavyweight champion, but I certainly did what I needed to do to maintain. Now, I want to go and double back to Anthony Gamble. I want to double back to Pete Rosado. You see, Pete Rosado was on commentary. Pete Rosado is the promoter for a little promotion known as We Are Wrestling out of the Bronx, New York. I have wrestled on occasion for Pete Rosado when the money's right, several times. Okay. Now, with that being said, Anthony Gamble was my first match at We Are Wrestling. Anthony Gamble bit off more than he could chew. Anthony Gamble stole a victory from yours truly in his hometown debut, because I'm originally from the Bronx, and it was the first time I ever wrestled there in my career. And he stole a victory. So I gave him a little something to remember me by. Okay? Anthony Gamble took it on himself 2 weeks ago to interrupt my business with Jorge Santi after our match at Deja Vu. Anthony Gamble decided to show his face at a show in which he was not even booked. And people are going to say, oh, well, Lucas, you attacked Anthony Gamble during the scramble match. You cost him a shot at the We Are Wrestling Grand Championship or whatever the fuck it's called, because everybody's from Japan all of a sudden. And, I was actually booked on that card, at least. I was an employee of We Are Wrestling. I didn't sneak across state lines like some illegal citizen, all right?
Right.
And break and enter through a locked staff-only facility door. I will send you the picture. Rick, you could timestamp this and put it up as a clip. There was a sign on the door that said, BST what? Staff only. And he comes in. He shuts the lights with his little buddy from the Bronx that drove the getaway car, all right? And they want to come into my house, all right? And they want to cost me my BST heavyweight championship. You know what I say to that? I say, no way. So Pete Rosado, Anthony Gamble, and CC, if you think that I'm not on to you, if you don't think that I know that you perhaps invited Anthony Gamble to BST Wrestling to try to sign a lucrative little talent, some up-and-coming blue chipper from the Fallout crapper, excuse me, I want to get the proper crapper. All right. But I'm going to tell you something. I don't hit people from behind. I don't go to where I'm not already booked and interfere and assault champions for no reason. I'm not a coward like Anthony Gamble. And to quote a very late great man, I smell a sissy, Harry. I smell a sissy. And that's Anthony Gamble.
Facts are, it did take 4 men to finally put down the on fire Lucas Chase.
Fuego in fuego.
What? So you're no longer BST champion. What's next for you? Where do you go from here? What's going through your mind now that you no longer are holding the 15 pounds of gold?
I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulder because now I could take a little step away from the drama that is BST and that hellhole run by the little tyrant, all right, who's got connections and family in the wrestling business. So they're trying to teach her how to run a business and grow up in the corporate world and blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to be a part of it. So what's next for Lucas Chase is taking down the tyrannical reign that CC and her family have upon BST to liberate and free that locker room. Because CC, I know the real the real side of your family, CC. I know that family has deep, dark secrets. And the only reason that you're running that company is because you have connections in the wrestling business through your family. And I'm going to expose it. I'm going to expose you. I'm going to expose all of BST. And I'm going to watch as everything burns. That's what's next for Lucas Chase.
Speaking of CC, this will kind of tie in with you as well. CC is also part GM for another company that you also wrestled for, which is Test of Strength Wrestling. You are a former tag team champion at Test of Strength Wrestling. You think anything is behind even that title switch?
Listen, all I know is that my partner Danny Miles got hurt. Test of Strength gave me Ryan Clancy. We all saw how that turned out. And I disposed of that trash and made that wrong right last weekend at Fight for Your Dreams 6. Definitive victory against Ryan Clancy. You can look it up online. Cagematch.com, Lucas Chase, put in the search bar. All right. Now, with that being said, it's funny because conspiracies run deep, and I feel like that meme, you know? But the fact of the matter is this. I didn't screw me.
Okay. So we touched
Say
on...
okay one more time.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Now, let's talk about your accolades so far. RWA, former RWA champion, first ever. PAPW Intercontinental Champion.
Yep.
2-time BST Heavyweight Champion.
First ever. Longest reigning,
and first ever 2-time. We just spoke about the Test of Strength Tag Team Championships. Am I missing anything over the last 2 years? CPW.
First ever
Heavyweight,
Coliseum
first
Pro
ever
Wrestling.
Coliseum Heavyweight
One
Champion.
of those checks bounced. That's why I haven't been back there.
Wow.
So I'm not in a
it's not my
rush.
fault.
Might have to have the conversation.
Not really in a rush to list that one.
So you've gone to collecting gold in different areas.
Yeah, I got gold. I got gold in different area codes.
What's your next goal? What's your next chase for the gold for Lucas Chase?
That's cute. You use my name in the thing, and that's adorable. Now, to answer your question, what do you think is next for Lucas Chase?
Well,
rhetorical, because what is next for Lucas Chase is exactly what I always do, and that is elevate myself to a new height. That's all I'm ever focused on in life, in the gym, in the ring, in my marriage, in my fatherhood. I'm always looking to elevate the game by any means necessary. Now, Harry, I asked you a question, then I said it was rhetorical. Why? Because that is what Lucas Chase exudes. You look at me, I capture your eye. I walk into a room, the mood shifts. When I step through those curtains and I step through those ropes, I am the very best at what I do, period. Whether you like me, whether you respect me, whether you believe it, whether you don't believe it, whether you think I'm the best wrestler on the planet or the worst wrestler on the planet, you're right. You want to know why? Because if you hate me, I want you to fucking hate me. And if you love me, you know that I speak the truth. So the question is rhetorical, because what's next for Lucas Chase? The next chase is elevating myself to the next tier. And if you think I'm good now, wait until the next level.
You've wrestled for all these companies, North, East. Is there any companies that you have your eye on that you haven't yet made your impact in?
There's a few. And there's some talks. I'm gonna name a few, and I'm not gonna say who I'm in talks with right now. First one's gonna be Chaotic Wrestling.
Okay.
That's it. That's there's some people over there I got my eye on. Brian Malonis is one of them. If you want to get out of the Northeast, there's a lot. AAW. WCWP, Illinois, OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling,
Yep.
of course. Those are big ones. Reality of Wrestling in Houston. That's a
Yes,
big
Booker T's.
Yep.
and we all know Lucas Chase's Texas connections run deep.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that's going to be coming out and debuting at the tail end of this year, early beginning of January 2024. I'm not at liberty to say what it is yet because it's not my announcement to make, but I will be a heavy part of that roster, whether they like it or not. And let's just say it's a natural fit.
Interesting. Very interesting. I want to know about going to the West Coast. I'm sorry, Harry, to cut you off.
No,
I
go
want
ahead.
to. I want to talk to you about you going over to the West Coast. Is there any of that in your plans?
West Coast is a big thing. Obviously GCW would be big. They're running a lot of New England style stuff with Jersey, but obviously like GCW on the West Coast is a different GCW than you see here.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's a big one. If I had to, this is very, very West, I guess you can say. Couple international brands, Australia. We got Venom Pro. Out of Australia. They're out of I want to say New Brunswick, Australia region.
Okay.
Very, very good up and promotion over there. They were up and coming for a while. I like a lot of international wrestling. I watch on and study on my spare time, just because I feel like if I'm gonna elevate myself, the international tour is coming. I gotta test my mettle over there, and season myself in different ways. As far as other West Coast organizations, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm so tunnel vision and focused on going down south right now that the West Coast really isn't anything I'm paying attention to a lot or heavy. But once I start making my way that way, I'm definitely going to be in talks with some stuff.
Okay.
You spoke down south. How far south are you talking here?
Well, DPW is one of them.
Yes.
Pro, Nightmare Factory.
Yep.
Going to be one of them, or maybe not. Impact Wrestling,
Yes.
big one. And yeah, there's a couple other ones that I got my eye on in the West Coast. The West Coast. I'm sorry, in the South. Virginia Championship Wrestling is another one. That's a big one. My buddy Lash LaRue works down there. Very, very good guy. And as well. Creative Pro coming back up here is a destination that I'm looking for, and a little bit north. Let's Wrestle is something that I'm very much looking to sink my teeth into.
When I spoke about further down south, I meant like Puerto Rico. I can definitely see you doing big things.
IWA is always on the list. IWA is always on the list. Puerto Rico is going to be a stop for Lucas Chase in the very near future. I can promise you that.
Okay.
You mentioned OVW. Is there anybody that you got your eye on over there? Of course, they've been making waves in the mainstream a little bit because of the new docuseries that just came out.
With the docuseries, yeah, I've had talks with OVW over the past couple months. To be honest with you, Wrestlers is great. I got to finish. I got like 2 episodes left. I think it's a very well done series. I was in talks with OVW with a guy named Adam Revolver down there like early 2023, and the dates didn't line up, and then I started doing Wrestling Open more consistency, and they tape on Thursday, so it's just a matter of time at this point of me going down there to answer your question in a long-winded way. But we all are here to hear what I have to say anyway. So, going down there, I would love to lock up with like Shira and someone that I would definitely, big guy like that. He moves well. I've seen a bunch of his stuff before. Paul Hubris, who's a fellow RWA graduate, has been on OVW and showcased. Of course, someone like Cash Flow seems like a fun thing. He's a journeyman. He's been around for a while, and he's good in the ring, and he's got a lot of charisma. And I think that'd be cool. Their roster is very, very I don't want to say green, but new to the public eye. And they have a good top of the card. The mid card that I've seen has been okay. You know, they do a lot of wonky, cool stuff with like the cinematic stuff with the Reverend and everybody and Amon and that whole devil worshiping stuff is very White Castle of Fear, which I know is one of my old WCW favorites. Spin the wheel, make the deal. You know what I mean? But yeah, so it's those, you know, those would be like that's like the short list. Al, if he ever came out of retirement, I know he's like 60, but that would be a dream match for me working with Al Snow, or at least getting hit with a mannequin head. That'd be great. A little inside baseball, but yeah, I mean OVW would be phenomenal.
You've had your fair share of main event matches with the TV superstars. You've had some special matches as of late, like one with Matthias at Elevate. You've had a couple key moments these last couple of years. If you were to pinpoint your number one moment of the last 2 years, what would you say that would be?
Main event matches, Matthias, etc.
Yes. Out of all these special matches and moments that you've had over we'll narrow it down to the last 2 years. Which one would be like the number one for you?
My match with Matthias at Elevate was something huge for me. That was that match was crazy. That match was great. And we had the crowd in the palm of our hands for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite match to this day. Period overall.
Okay.
100%. A very close second is myself and Dustin Waller in the ladder match from last year's Mega Clash.
That was an amazing match.
That was special.
Because you know, getting in there with inanimate objects ain't no walk in the park. So
right.
The fact that we were able to do what we did in that amount of time with what we had was special.
You've gotten some big wins, specifically one over JD Drake in November. Is there any other, I guess you would call them TV superstars that are on the horizon that you can speak of?
You know, I'm always looking to test my mettle against the top of the industry and the best in the world. You know what I mean? You know, I would love to get my hands on Powerhouse Hobbs in a real one-on-one match and not some dark match crap. I feel like we would be great together, and we would just beat the shit out of each other and see who is the tougher son of a bitch. You know, Fuego del Sol, someone that's great, and I think that would be a fun match to have. So, I mean, Samoa Joe is one of my dream matches. If I had to choose a dream match, Samoa Joe would probably be 1A and 1B.
Oh, okay.
I just Gunther would be one. Chad Gable would be another one.
Wait, hold. I'm sorry. Let me cut you off. You want to get in the ring with somebody with the hand the size of a catcher's mitt?
I don't think Chad Gable's hands are that big.
No, not Chad Gable. The guy you said before that.
Oh yeah, Gunther. Yeah, I'd punch him right in the mouth.
Okay.
In the chest all he wants. I'm gonna punch him in the mouth. That's different. I ain't slapping chests. I'm punching mouths.
All right.
Hey.
We're gonna shortlist this. You have 3 guys in the Northeast that you have not touched. Who would they be?
TJ Crawford, Channing Thomas, and damn, I've worked a lot of people. TJ Crawford, Channing Thomas, and Brad Hollister.
Ooh, big bacon.
It's an impressive list. Yeah.
Up to a 5. Desmond Cole would be on that list. And we have never fought one-on-one. We were in the Fatal 4-Way at BST last week together, but Andy Brown.
Ooh, that's a good 5. It's a good 5. I can see a lot of those matches happening.
So Rick, trim this shit and put it on your fucking Instagram, and someone fucking book one of those 5 matches, or book all 5 of those fucking matches, and let's have a good time and make some money together.
Let's make some money together.
There you go. There you go. I want to know.
Okay.
I don't know if you brought this up. You might have brought it up. Over the summer, you defended your title against Mike Skyros. What's it like being in the ring with somebody of his caliber?
Oh, yes.
I think he is just. There's something about that
Mike's
guy,
great. Eat him.
Yeah.
You want me to say? Mike's fantastic. I fucking beat him.
You did. You did.
I mean,
yes.
if I'm not mistaken, someone got thrown in the trash.
But I beat him.
That's very valid. That's very valid.
Garbage smell. You can't wash out the sting of defeat, pal.
Okay. You said you made your debut for We Are Wrestling last year in the Bronx. You've had a few go arounds with them. I believe one with BRG. That's Invictus. Okay.
But
So
We Are Wrestling. I did tag with Ruthless Lala.
there it is.
With it. And we took on Jared Diaz and Sky Blue, and I took off Sky Blue's head. And then Jorge Santi, who I beat the crap out of. Anthony Gamble, who I always beat the crap out of. And yeah, those have been the We Are Wrestling matches so far. I think Rob Killjoy will be on that list for me down there.
Oh, yes. You and Rob Killjoy would do some cool stuff.
Gotta happen with me and Darius Carter getting in the ring again.
Darius Carter is another one that I could see you doing some really cool stuff with. All right. Let's get a little off wrestling topic here. Let's just throw some stuff against the wall. It's a Saturday night. There's no wrestling for you. There's none. Who are you with?
My wife.
Where are you going?
Park City Musical.
All right, that's really it.
Yeah.
And to call this man a truther would be an understatement, because that's normally where he's at every time I look on a Saturday. What's Lucas doing today? Oh, he's listening to a concert. All right.
We just got some great Mediterranean food at Esh in Fairfield. Shout out to Esh.
Yeah.
And thing. I love live music.
Yeah.
What do you see there? Tell me. I know some of the music that you're into, but
we've seen a Tool tribute band there.
All right.
Okay.
Seen there's this band that we love. They're a cover band. They're called Line. They play all 90s into 2000s alt rock stuff. So you're talking like Badfish, you're talking like, Semi-Charmed Life, you're talking, fucking Three Doors Down, shit like that. With that band. And then like there's this DJ that she comes in every once a month, I think. And she's just spinning all night long. She sings with her track. It's just awesome. It sucks that I can't remember her name right now. But me and my wife, we love going over there, seeing shows like that. We have local friends that are in bands that we go support over there. As well. And, we're having a damn good time.
Yeah.
Damn good time. Because I don't have these gross pores looking at me from a barricade. I don't got to talk to Rick Del Santo in his mustard shirt.
Mustard? What mustard? This is
not that one. The one you had on the other day had mustard on it.
It did? No, it didn't.
Mustard when I see mustard.
Nah,
No, that wasn't no spicy brown too. That was yellow. Yeah. Dog.
That was definitely. I think you're thinking about somebody else, man. You're definitely not me. I am very, what's the word? I pay close attention to that shit. So no way.
I said, Harry, what are you looking for? He said, I dropped my keys. I said, you look here. I gave him $1. I said, Harry, here, get some food. You're fine, man. But I said, oh, brother.
You made
more than $1.50, and I said no, credit card only. Get a cheeseburger.
Credit card only. My God.
You know what I mean? Cash back. Too busy buying primes.
I've tried that one before. I've tried that one and the yellow one. I don't know what I think about either of them.
The lemonade is the strawberry watermelon. It's delicious.
All right, I'm gonna believe you.
I believe this would be a career achievement for anyone, but you have been in the PWI a few times now. There is but there's one with you giving a soaring European uppercut to a JD Drake. And that's a picture that I find that I love looking at because it just shows how hard hitting that match was just from a picture perspective.
Was that in the mag?
That is in the magazine.
It was. I thought it was on the internet, the weekly version. No,
No, it's in the magazine.
Okay.
But
Really? That was in the process. Ridiculous.
There is another picture though, and this one gets a little more personal. It was right after the Lucas Chase Dustin Waller ladder match. You're sitting in the corner, championship in your hand, and your son is looking over the barricade, watching his dad beaming with pride. Take all the personal stuff from the wrestling aside. How did that make you feel seeing that photo?
It was okay. I was wondering why he wasn't in bed, first of all. I don't know why he was even there. I'm glad my wife was there because, you know, she wants to celebrate with the champ. It's going to be an all night long affair. And I didn't want her to think that I wasn't coming home to get her. She just got to be at the arena. But the babysitter was late. Babysitter bailed out too early. We had to take him home. He should have been home already in bed. And the picture should have actually been my hot, smoking redhead wife behind that barricade looking at me like, that's the champ. And I get to go home with him. Cure administered. That's what I think about that photo.
Rick?
All right. I'm just amazed. I don't know, man. You just so bad. You got me speechless here. You got me speechless here.
PM on Wednesday, September the 20th, as we record this. And I would like to thank all of our sponsors for PW.
So you got
thank Harry Davila. I would like to thank my co-host Rick. And we will see who's coming up next week, guys.
Do you want to announce it now?
Yeah.
Oh man, I think Luke.
I got this. I got this one. I got this one. I got this one.
I don't want him to come through.
Next week on the show, we have the brand new BST heavyweight champion, Bobby Buffet. I cannot wait for that. That is going to be such a great interview. And we lost him.
Wow. I think you upset him, man. I think you unbelievable. See?
I didn't mean to. You told me to announce who we had next.
No. He said he wanted to hear from you. You know,
you're right. You're right.
Usually he does this
I didn't
stuff
antagonize this. I didn't.
You're right. Usually he doesn't do this stuff to me. He'll do it to Talking Tommy. He's usually pretty nice to me though about it. When I make
that wasn't on me. That was completely on him. He asked for that.
Wow.
He asked for that.
Unbelievable. Is he coming back?
I don't think so. So we'll just go from here. Ladies and gentlemen, Lucas Chase, former BST former two-time heavyweight champion for BST, former CPW heavyweight champion, numerous accolades, first ever RWA heavyweight championship. I was going to ask him if he was going to chase after the tag titles, but as you can see, I don't think he was a fan of our next guest next week.
No, I mean, you fucking blew it, man.
No. You're not putting this on me. You knew what was happening.
I'm unbiased, you know. I'm just a journalist.
Unbiased.
I'm just a sports reporter here for this channel, right here.
Regardless of whether Lucas Chase is still on here or not, we can talk about the amazing show that was Mega Clash last week. And Rick, you were in attendance. What a show!
Absolutely,
top to bottom, and not to blow smoke up BST's rear end. But holy hell, Rick, you were there live. I don't even want to speak on it. You speak on it. You tell the fans what they missed out on.
Well, obviously, as you said, as Harry said, because he upset the former champion, new world champion crowned in Bobby Buffet. We had a new territory champion and Dan the Man, of course. Dan is quite the veteran around these parts, and I guess he's a sneaky little guy, right? What else did we see here? I'm trying to think. We saw new BST tag team champions
That is correct.
in
The Haven,
captured the vacant tag titles.
three times tag
Yeah.
team champion.
Yeah.
Three, finally getting the elusive win over their brothers in the Miracle Generation.
Yeah, and I did have some other notes here. Jeez, man,
I got you. Brand new BST Monarchs champion, Vita Von Star.
yes,
Finally, Evie's 1 year plus title reign has come to an end. And by their own smoking gun, no less.
Mm.
And Patrick Saint, it was top to bottom. What an amazing show.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Everybody who was on that show went out there to kill it. Marcus Mathers, Sammy Diaz for the Key to the East Championship was an absolute wrestling clinic. We spoke about the tag title match and how it was probably the best tag team match in BSC history.
Yeah, and then
I'm gonna say that again. Probably the greatest tag match in BST history. The four-way, which we touched on with Andy Brown.
Don't forget, Mark Alexander took a dive off the top
Mark
of the balcony.
Alexander's a madman.
I mean,
absolute madman.
I was amazed. I was hoping that he didn't hurt himself, yet he pulled it off successfully without injuring himself.
He dives off the top of the balcony onto three other guys and pops up like a madman.
That is on our Instagram, by the way. PWZ W.O.N. Yep.
Amazing. There's so many different angles of him diving onto people.
Yeah.
I want to get all of them and just make a compilation of different angles. We had the debut of Louis Leon and PJ Savage.
Correct. I was trying to. PJ tore him apart for like 8 minutes straight, tossing him around. Like,
I mean, Louis fought.
He tried.
He tried everything. He threw everything he could at PJ Savage, but PJ Savage is exactly that, an absolute savage, and just go on to get their victory over Louis Leon. Troy Stevens and Jermaine Marbury had a fire opener, hard-hitting fire opener to start the show.
Let's talk a little bit about Troy. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Jermaine Marbury.
Yes.
Jermaine Marbury. I know we've mentioned him here a couple times. He is one of the bright young stars coming out of Connecticut. He probably has less than 20 matches to his name, to be honest with you, that I could think of.
He just seems to be getting better.
Absolutely.
Every time.
Trained by Paul Roma, Mario Mancini, Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling School. So, those guys were in the big leagues for well over 10, 15 years, each of them by themselves.
Yep.
And of course, I just feel that Jermaine is getting better and better as time goes on. He's one of the top prospects in Connecticut right now. You need to check this young man out. He put him on your shows. I think that he will impress. He'll get the fans behind him as well.
He has a mascot.
He has a mascot. Exactly.
He has a mascot.
Yeah.
I thought that was the funniest part of his entrance is because I wasn't expecting it. Yeah. All of a sudden, this big old basketball comes from the back, and I'm like, where did this even come from? Absolute fun, hard-hitting match. What? And
Troy Stevens is no slouch either.
No, absolutely not. He's a veteran, veteran of the Ring Wars.
Yep.
He definitely had his work cut out for him that night, and him and Marbury definitely tore it down. What else you got on the card? We spoke about Sammy and Mathers,
Red Sawyers,
and Evander James. That was a sleeper as well, because you never know what you get with Red Sawyer.
Red Sawyer, and I told you there's plenty of times when I think that we had that conversation that evening.
Yeah,
it's a young Bruiser Brody. That's it. He comes in there and he's all over the place, tearing the whole freaking arena up.
Evander James takes the victory with an arm. It's like a one-arm, winged angel variation driver. I don't even know what you would call that. Class dismissed, I guess. But I saw it and I was just like, oh my God. Thought he broke his neck.
Yeah, man, that was just Evander James. I might not be behind the gimmick, but that's neither here nor there. That dude knows how to pop a crowd. I'll tell you that much.
Ichiban and Dan the Man for the territory champion, brand
Yep.
new territory champion, and Dan the Man, after months of borderline stalking Ichiban in his quest for gold at BST, he finally reaches the finish line. Excuse me, and gets the territory championship. We spoke about the four-way with Andy Brown, Bobby, Mark Alexander, Lucas Chase, the Monarchs tag titles.
I think that's pretty much it.
I think that was it.
Upon everything.
Like just top to bottom, it just felt like a huge show. It felt like a big deal.
Yeah.
And almost a changing of the guard at BST, a new era, so to speak.
There was a hot crowd the entire time that I was there.
White hot.
Exactly. And I got to tell you, the place was packed. That is a great venue. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there again.
We'll be back there November 11th for United by One Type 1 Diabetes benefit show for CC, our GM, our boss. That's going to be an amazing show. I can actually talk about some of the card now if you'd like.
Get it out there. Get it out there. Yep.
One-on-one, Sammy Diaz continues his hot streak in the Northeast. He takes on another Northeast standout in Landon Hale. One-on-one. The Uptown Boys are returning for the United by One. Ichiban goes one-on-one with Ty Shine at what else do we got going on? Three-way for the tag team championships of BST, sponsored by us at PWZ and Friends with Kenny and Tiz. It is the Haven, your newly crowned tag team champions, going against Miracle Generation in a rematch, but with a twist. It's a three-way dance, and you're throwing in waves and curls. So much action. This card is going to be off the hook. Doors open at 5 for a little bit of meet and greet with your favorite wrestlers. Show starts at 7, again at Devonshire Hall, November 11th. This is all brought to you by multiple promotions, BST, Test of Strength, Tetsu Pro, We Are Wrestling is joining in. Coliseum Pro Wrestling is joining in. It's going to be such a great night for Northeast Wrestling. Speaking of Coliseum, though.
Speaking of Coliseum, Friday, October 13th, make sure your asses are there because it's going to be quite the amazing evening. I'm trying to bring up the match list here. Okay, I got the matches here. So it's going to be 10, 13, 23, 265 Main Street, West Haven, Connecticut at the Elks Lodge. Tickets are $20. We've got the CPW Championship champion Hunter Tarka defending against somebody we've spoken about quite a bit tonight in PJ Savage. I'm really looking forward to that one. Coliseum Strong Will Championship champion Nutrius X defending against the premier Luis Leon. Of course, he was on last week on this program, and of course, he just made his Blood, Sweat, and Tears debut. Of course, Paid in Full are going to be in action. Clipper Jones is making his debut. Tag team champions Hustle and Muscle defending against Social Influence. Daje Simone, of course, taking on the Unforgiven Salem. New Age Championship match. Chris Cage, champion, taking on Kama Kazi. All right. Jay Vara is going to be in action. And of course, Alan Bano taking on Chris Taylor. It's been some time since I've seen Chris Taylor. My first time seeing him was Paradise Alley. I've gotten to work with him in New Age Wrestling earlier this year. It was good to see him in action. He was very, very impressive. Looks like he did not lose a step at all. So that's October 13th, 2023. That's just a couple weeks away. Please show up.
Where is this?
This is 265 Main Street, West Haven, Connecticut, at the Elks Lodge. Of course, the information is on our Instagram, our Facebook page. Go to Coliseum Pro Wrestling on Instagram and Facebook as well. Come out, spend the $20, take the whole family, get some hot dogs. There'll be merch for sale. There will be a lot of fun. Bring the kids. It's going to be an amazing evening. Harry, do you have anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here tonight?
No, I think we've touched on everything. Thank you, Lucas Chase, for being on the show.
You have to watch what you say next time he comes on.
Again, you're not pinpointing that on me. You instigated that.
Me?
Yeah. Tell him, Harry. Tell him. Tell him who's on the show next
He
week.
said for you to specifically say it.
And you didn't stop him.
What am I going to do?
Say no?
Nah. Anyways, thank you very much. Don't forget to go hit us up on social media. Hit up Harry, hit up Rick. Just have some fun. Get in contact. Next week, of course, is the new BST heavyweight champion, Bobby Buffet.
Can't wait.
All right, man. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy.
Later.
Here in the forest, dark and deep, I offer you eternal sleep. I'm behind you. I am right behind you. Don't be scared. I just want to play a game with you. I've been watching you. I know what you've been doing. You can't hide from me. I'm always here. Please stay. Stay with me. If you don't come play with me, then we will kill you. Knock knock. It's there. You're a nightmare. Can you see me? Hello? Can you find me? Can you find me?